In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a really interesting overlay reveal hover effect using Breakdance and no additional plugins. So this is the effect. There are no additional plugins with this. It's just a bit of custom code and a very simple setup. And you can see it works really well in this example because I have a before and an after picture that, you know, it's perfectly in line. But you know, it's quite awesome. So if you can make a plan with how to use this, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to use. I'll show you another test case of this. Obviously, I'm going to give you the code for how to do this and show you the setup in just a moment. And again, I'm just blown away with how simple it's been to do this. Another way to use this is with actual content in the section, and in this I've also got this gradient effect on the text, but also I've got two custom icons here, and as we reveal over one, we see that we've got a great gradient effect there on. So it looks really striking, and I've just been sort of like playing around with myself a little bit and hang on, that sounds weird, but I've been playing around with myself a little bit. It's gimmicky. You can't use it on every site, of course. In fact, I'm not going to be using it on this one. It turns out it's wrong for the project, but let's look at how to do it anyway. So let's look at the structure of this. We have the section, and that's it. It's one section. It's not two sections and one pulled up and overlaying. So we have the hero background, and the image is set. And you need to make sure that you've got the same image settings for both of the sections, the background one and the overlaying one. Then we have I've got a custom height of 600 in this, and width is full. Spacing, you're going to have to play around more with the vertical paddings and things like that. So that's how, especially if you've got overlaying content, that's what you need to play with more than anything else. But to be honest, you could actually lose that. But yeah, experiment with it. Last thing to look at here is that we've got a class added, which I'll show you where that's referred to. So we've got reveal container in this instance. Okay, then in this case, we've got the content, and that's a pretty standard setup. Obviously, this is a custom icon, easier to add that in Breakdance than Elementor. And I do have to bring that comparison because I want you to know Breakdance is really on top at the moment. Okay, then we've got the overlaying div, and the first thing to note is that we have the reveal overlay container class added, and that we do have, you might notice, wrapper here. So this is positioned absolute and 0, 0 on the top and the left. Now, actually, I'm realizing now that that's in the code. I've put that in the CSS also, so I don't need it in both places. I could do without it here. It might as well just be in the code, to be honest. So yeah, I would say that's the best thing to do. Looking at the styling of this div, we obviously have the after image, and the image settings. If you want it to be exactly the same, you need to keep those the same as the other one. And then we've got padding. And again, it's only padding where you're going to have to play around with little bits to make sure that the alignment of the items are the same. But generally, it centers quite easily. And that is it, apart from this bit, code block. Very easy to add. Obviously, in Elementor, it's within the interface, but here we just add in a code block. And I've got the CSS here. You can see that we've got the reveal container, and then I have the reveal overlay container with position absolute, top and left, and then importantly, width 100 and height 100. Okay. I've actually got reference to the image here, but we don't need it. So again, you can do that in both places. So yeah, that's a bit messy, and I should clear that up. So we could do away with this and save it, and I might as well do this in real time and show you. So if I then refresh, all of that is exactly the same. That's good. So you don't need to duplicate it. Obviously, I was experimenting. Okay, cool. You can change the size of the cursor, so how big this mouse is using the code. So yeah, experiment with that and see what suits your design. But that's really it. It's 2 pieces of code easily implemented into the breakdance structure there. And I'll just quickly show you that this text effect, again, you would have needed custom code and a span in Elementor, but this is, again, it's just another thing that's available in breakdance, and I think it's just absolutely, it's fantastic. Where am I going? Effects, and select the type of fill and gradients, and look at that. It's just really awesome. And also on that custom icons, it's easy to just upload a custom icon while you're in the builder. You don't need to go to the front end the dashboard and add it there and then come back to the builder. Really smooth process. I'm really chuffed to be using Breakdance at the moment, and you can get fun effects like this. Very cool. Okay, so that is how to create this effect. I hope you've enjoyed. Again, I'm not going to be using this on the website I was working on. It just isn't actually right for it once I've achieved it. But the main point is that it can be achieved, and I wanted to share that with you guys. If you are making use of it, or you're experimenting with some ideas and what else you can do with it, I would love to see that. Bung it in the comments below and throw me a link. I'd love to see what you're doing with it. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.